Hey everybody. So it is in the middle of the night and I was just in the mood to do some content, so here we are. I just did 2 videos talking about my experience as a quote-unquote proper talking black girl, and I say quote-unquote because I'm not calling myself literally proper. I think that I mess up a lot, but this is the category that I get pulled into, so there you go. Okay, for want of a better term or whatever, white sounding. Anyway, so about my views on black men. The father of my child would be categorized as black. He has a African American dad and a Mexican mom. And he is bilingual. When he speaks Spanish, then people, same thing as when especially the younger version of me would speak, people would, oh my gosh, quick story. I used to get you're so well spoken. Oh, you're really intelligent. If I were white, I wouldn't get that. I'm literally getting it because this voice, this accent, these words are coming from someone this color. You know, that's why I'm getting it, okay? If I was this color, I wouldn't be getting it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Or am I selling myself short? Maybe sometimes, but I don't think so. I think that mostly it's because I've run into a lot of articulate Caucasian women and black women, but in this case, articulate Caucasian women. And a lot of times people don't bother to tell them, oh, you're so well spoken. Did you go to private school? You speak very well. You know, they don't really get that, right? Anyway. So I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure everything is recording the way it's supposed to. I hope so. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to stop the video because something popped up, a notification, and sometimes when that happens, it will actually turn off my video. I do not have my glasses on, so it's hard for me to tell if it cut me off or not. You know what I mean? So I decided to just, confirm everything is cool, all that stuff, whatever. So, okay, back to the point. What was I saying? Something I was talking about selling myself short and whatever. I was saying about my ex really quickly. So the man that I made a baby with is half black, and most people categorize him as black. He is bilingual. When he speaks Spanish, people look at him like a dog is talking or something. And again, my mother's phrase. And he has to explain, like, sometimes people will, like, he loves to volunteer his background, but people will ask him a lot of times, even though we do have a decent amount of Dominican people here and also black, Hispanics, whatever. I've met a good amount here in Houston, Texas, very populated city, very diverse. Supposedly we're the most diverse city in the United States, which is hard to believe with New York, but maybe we are, I don't know. Anyway, point is that people will ask him his background and he'll explain, oh, mi mommy is Mexicana and mi papi is American or whatever, whatever. Okay, something like that, whatever. And why I'm mentioning all this is that, so I gave a black man a child, so I can't despise them that much, right? At least by traditional logic. I don't agree with that logic exactly, because there are racist people that will make children with other groups, but we're not ready for that conversation, okay? So, by traditional logic, I can't be that mad at black men. One day I'm going to get into my interracial dating history because it will involve black men to some degree, whatever. But the short is, no, I do not hate black men. I do think that black women's strange loyalty towards black men. And when I say strange loyalty, it doesn't go both ways, baby. It doesn't. On average, I'm not talking about the occasional black man who loves nothing but dark-skinned black women, dark-skinned, quote-unquote, unambiguous black women, and is, you know, and not necessarily a hotep or whatever, because that's a whole nother thing, but just a black man who, you know, the way that white men put the epitome of whiteness, which is blonde hair, blue-eyed, on a pedestal, a black man that puts dark skin, full lips, flat nose, you know, dark brown eyes on a pedestal. I don't really run into the majority of black, the majority of black men that I run into are not that way. They're very pro light colored and biracial and non-black, you know, women. And that's okay. Knock yourself out. But why would I dedicate myself to, you know, being like having this unwavering loyalty towards a group of men that don't feel that way about me? Like, to me, that's irrational. I'm sorry, that it's batshit crazy if you really want my opinion. And a lot of women, like the Cecilia Reginas, the Chrissies, whom I love all these women, pointed out, and they get hate from the so-called black manosphere or whatever, you know, for pointing out the obvious, which is that it's one-sided loyalty. You know, what's his name? Kevin Samuels said so many horrible things about black women, y'all, including him doing the golden rule thing about our attractiveness and saying that most of us don't fall into attractiveness based off the golden rule of facial symmetry and everything. And just, again, why would I cape for men who feel this way about me? I mean, I don't hate them, but I'm not going to put them on a pedestal. And I'm not going to say, oh, well, if it ain't black, I ain't messing with it, when it's one-sided. Again, there's a difference between hate and just not being somebody's fool. And I'm not going to be a fool for a group of men that feel that way. And, you know, I mean, that's the best way I can put it. You know, I hope that makes sense. So, no, it's not that I have a hatred towards black men. And I've always been open to dating non-black men, you know. And that made me kind of unique, especially, like I told you, I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. And, you know, I grew up with crushes on Jonathan Taylor Thomas. By the way, I grew up with crushes on black men, too. One of my first crushes was LL Cool J, who was way too old for me, you know, but that was one of my first crushes and everything. So, no, I liked black men and boys as well. But talking about when I was growing up and everything. But yes, I liked a diverse group. I liked, you know, the Jonathan Taylor Thomases. I loved Jonathan Brandis, who sadly passed away. That guy, Jonathan Sheck. What is it with the Johns? John Kennedy, JFK, John Kennedy Jr., who passed away, sadly, the son of our former president and everything, JFK. But yeah, I liked a lot of non-black guys, but I also liked black guys too. The boy who I referenced in my story, Damien, very much so a black man, you know, so yeah, okay. But as far as, like I said, just declaring my unwavering loyalty, you've lost your damn mind. Hell no. Now, and I'm open to dating black men, but oh, what I was saying in my last video where I got cut off, and hopefully I have a moment to say this, is that a lot of black men, with me being this big, only took an interest in me when I was with a white guy. And then it's like, how dare you date a white man? And it's like, huh? You don't want me. Like, what? So I just thought that was funny. Anyway, I hope this kind of sort of answers the question. I hope I didn't dig a hole deep